the heartbreaking story of Tayo and Bisi. Tayo looked at his younger sister Bisi, the way he had seen men look at women on TV. "Tayo, Bisi, please, let's do that thing again. The one the man and woman did in the video. I liked it. It was fun." Tears welled up in Bisi's eyes as she shook her head. "Bisi, no, Tayo, I can't. It hurts so much. I never want to do that again, ever." Are you wondering how these children ended up here? Why is Tayo asking Bisi to do something so unspeakable? How did things get to this point? And where were their parents during all of this? Stay with me as we uncover the heartbreaking story of Tayo and Bisi. Tayo, 9 years old, and his 7-year-old sister Bisi were often left alone at home. Their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi, were hard-working professionals who spent most of their days at work. Tayo and Bisi had grown used to their solitude, though it wasn't something they enjoyed. They tried to pass the time with games or drawing, but the television always seemed to capture their attention. One evening, Tayo stumbled upon a late-night show filled with flashing lights, loud music, and adults laughing and talking in a way he found strange. Intrigued, he called out to his sister, "Tayo, Bisi, come and see this!" Bisi, who had been playing in another room, rushed to join him in the living room. Together, they sat on the worn couch, their eyes glued to the screen. The rapid scenes, bright colours and music fascinated them, though they didn't understand what was happening. "Bisi, why are they doing that?" "Tayo, I don't know. Maybe it's something fun that adults do." They didn't realise that what they were watching wasn't meant for children. The images, though incomprehensible to them, planted a seed of curiosity in their young minds, one that would grow in ways they couldn't imagine. Days after watching the show, the images lingered. Tayo's curiosity only deepened. One afternoon, while their parents were at work, he turned to Bisi with a mischievous grin. "Bisi, do you remember what we saw on TV?" Bisi's face tensed as the unsettling images returned to her thoughts. "I don't know, Tayo. It didn't feel right." But Tayo, oblivious to her discomfort, persisted. "Let's try it." "No, Tayo. Mummy said we shouldn't copy things we see on TV." "Come on, Bisi. It's just pretend. No one will know." Bisi hesitated, unsure of what to do. Sensing her resistance, Tayo added, "Remember when you sneaked outside last time, even though Mummy and Daddy said not to? No one found out. But if you don't do this with me, I'll tell Daddy about that." Bisi froze. She felt trapped and didn't know how to respond. Finally, with a shaky voice, she whispered, "Okay, Tayo, let's do it." In that moment, the innocent bond they shared as siblings took a dark turn. Unlike their usual playful adventures, this one was different. As they entered the bedroom and lay down, Bisi felt a sharp pain. She screamed, bolting into the living room. "Ah, this is wrong, Tayo. I never want to do this again," she cried, clutching her chest as tears streamed down her face. Tayo, confused and unable to understand why Bisi was so upset, still wanted to continue. He didn't grasp the gravity of what they had done, but Bisi knew deep in her heart that something was terribly wrong. This wasn't the same playful mischief they used to share. Days turned into weeks, and the weight of their actions grew heavier for Bisi. Tayo's behaviour started to change. He became more stubborn and insistent. Bisi could feel the distance growing between them, and it scared her. The innocence that once defined their relationship seemed lost. One afternoon, when their mother came home briefly to pick up some documents, Bisi felt an overwhelming urge to speak up. She couldn't keep the silence any longer. "Bisi! Mummy, can I talk to you?" Her voice trembling. Mrs. Adeyemi, busy juggling phone calls and her to-do list, barely looked up. "Mrs. Adeyemi, not now, Bisi. I'm in a hurry," she replied, glancing at her watch. Bisi stood there for a moment, her heart pounding. Sinking into her thoughts, Mrs. Adeyemi sighed heavily, clearly stressed. "Mrs. Adeyemi." "Later, darling. Be a good girl, all right?" she said absently to her daughter Bisi as she hurried out the door once again. Bisi's tiny voice, full of hope, was drowned out by the noise of her mother's busy life. She retreated to her room, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her heart ached. She felt invisible in a home that was supposed to be her safe space. All she wanted was for her mother to hear her, to understand the weight of her pain. One afternoon, After yet another attempt by her older brother Tayo to get her to act out an inappropriate scene from a show they had watched, Bisi couldn't take it anymore. She bolted from the house, her small body trembling with fear and confusion. She didn't know where to go. Without thinking, Bisi found herself standing at the door of their kind neighbour, Aunt Grace. Aunt Grace. "What's wrong, Bisi?" Aunt Grace asked, kneeling down to meet her at eye level. Unable to hold it in any longer, Bisi burst into tears, her sobs uncontrollable. Through the tears, she told Aunt Grace everything: Tayo's unsettling requests, her growing fear, and the discomfort she felt. Aunt Grace wrapped Bisi in a warm, comforting hug. "Aunt Grace, you did the right thing by telling me. You don't have to carry this alone. I'm here for you, and we'll figure this out." Bisi clung tightly to Aunt Grace, relief washing over her. The heavy weight pressing on her chest began to lift. "Bisi, I'm scared. What should I do, Auntie?" Aunt Grace smiled gently, wiping the tears from her cheeks. "Aunt Grace, don't worry, my dear, I'll help you. You're safe now." When Aunt Grace brought the situation to Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi's attention, they were initially in disbelief. "Mr. Adeyemi, Tayo wouldn't do something like that," he said firmly, shaking his head. "Mrs. Adeyemi, maybe Bisi misunderstood what she saw," she added, trying to downplay the seriousness of the situation, but Aunt Grace stood her ground. "Aunt Grace, children don't misunderstand what they feel. You've been so focused on work that you haven't paid attention to what they're watching. This is a wake-up call." Her words struck a chord. Though it was hard to accept, Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi realized they had been neglecting their children's needs in ways they hadn't noticed. Determined to make a change, Mr. Adeyemi took immediate steps to fix things. He began monitoring what Bisi and Tayo watched, ensuring their screen time was filled with age-appropriate content. The children were also encouraged to talk about what they saw, helping them process their thoughts and feelings. Mrs. Adeyemi also took action. She reduced her work hours to spend more time at home. Together, they made a conscious effort to strengthen their family bond. Mr. Adeyemi planned fun weekend activities, while Mrs. Adeyemi read bedtime stories to Bisi and Tayo each night. Slowly but surely, the siblings started laughing again, rebuilding their connection through safe and happy experiences. Understanding that healing would take time, the Adeyemis arranged for both Tayo and Bisi to speak with a counsellor. They wanted to make sure their children felt supported as they worked through their emotions. Months passed, and the Adeyemi household became a much warmer and more attentive place. Under their parents' renewed care and love, Tayo and Bisi began to thrive. They felt confident knowing they could share anything with their parents without fear of being ignored. One evening, as the family gathered around to play a board game, Bisi looked up at her parents with a thoughtful expression. "Bisi, thank you for listening to me now," she said softly. Her words, though simple, carried so much meaning. Mrs. Adeyemi's eyes filled with tears, and in that moment, the family understood the true value of being present for one another. The painful silence that had once filled their home was now replaced with laughter and love, a home where everyone felt heard, valued, and safe. This was a new beginning for the Adeyemi family, built on stronger bonds and a deeper understanding of what truly matters, giving their children the gift of attention and love. This story reminds us that children need to feel heard and understood, especially when they're trying to share something important. Change begins when we truly listen to their voices. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever felt unheard as a child? Until next time, goodbye.